Hi.
How's it going?
Well, that was, I'm amused. Welcome back for PvP 101. We just went to the video and I realized that I had not set Hugh up with the game client. So he was like frantically logging in and Josh is going 30 seconds. So
Where's your sense of urgency? I don't know.
I didn't bring my sense of urgency, so Josh will give me one.
Yes, perfect.
Yes, we're all good. So welcome back.
Yep, I'm putting this on too. Why not? Why not actually
Hugh.
hear me in the process? Oh man, we're in there right now, guys. I'm back.
Hugh, welcome to PvP
Yes,
101.
we're ready now. We're ready.
Thank you. Now we can hear you. That was amazing because I didn't even notice.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Can we say it's because we're still like really jazzed about Stronghold? And
Yeah, man. Oh, that was an amazing, amazing time, guys. Thanks everybody who showed up from playing the 24 hours. All the feedback I got on Reddit and the forums were great. I've been taking a lot of that stuff to heart. So thanks everybody for showing up and playing.
Thank you for making it so we had lots of people to play with. That was so much fun. I am really bad. Really, really. I mean, the first several matches were like, where do I go? What do I do? Everybody's yelling. Nobody knows what's happening, but it was an absolute blast.
Definitely had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think the first match, I finally like sucked it up and accepted that I was going to embarrass myself in front of people, which I sort of hate doing. And that first match, we won 310 to 315.
Wow.
And yeah, I was just going, oh, wow, I need to lie down now. I'm super, super tired. Yeah. So have I let you get set up enough now?
Yeah.
Are you good to go?
I'm getting
All right.
there.
So I did my shot bow homework,
Nice.
and I got Dolyak rank.
Yeah, I saw that on
You knew
Twitter.
you knew I was gonna like be screaming about that on Twitter.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time reading up on meta battle, and then I went into my custom arena with a couple of guildies and just like banged around for a couple of hours, and then sucked it up and headed into unranked and got rolled.
Nice.
No, it wasn't nice.
Well, I think one of the big things is taking that first step, because especially like those builds, they have like such a huge list of like, these are the things you can do and these are the optimal things, but getting in there and actually trying, that's 90% of the battle.
It really, really was. I mean, that's like I said, I did all my reading and I was like, all right, I've got this down. And then I went in there and I found out that I have a very strong tendency to panic and start banging on all of my shouts at once because I get in a party situation and forget what they do. So, but I needed to get in there and just get used to it and start building up a little bit of that muscle memory. I saved a story. Oh, I didn't use my 6th skill.
Nice. You didn't use your heal. Good.
I didn't
Good.
use my heal.
That's it's definitely I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, but I was sitting here, your finger totally slipped. It really, really was an accident.
Yeah.
So I did save you one story this was actually in my custom arena, and I was playing with my guildmate who was like cycling through various professions to help me get used to, which is so, so good to do. If you guys have a guildmate or 5 or 6 who will jump in and out like in a custom arena and help you with various professions, it made such a difference for me. It made a huge difference. Until we got to Spirit Watch and he was on his mesmer. And I mean, I'm like not even in my seat anymore. I'm like out, and I mean, I was pretty tough, but I'm also pretty bad. So we went in there for 45 minutes. We ran around and 3 different maps, pounding on each other. Nobody even got downed.
Nice.
No, it was super. It was nice in that I was yelling terrible things into mumbles.
Sure.
It turns out I'm really, really ungracious after a while, and I'm not nice at all. But we got into Spirit Watch, almost had him downed. I mean, like, no health left, Great Sword Mesmer, and the next thing I know, I'm falling in a hole, and I'm a bird.
Nice. Yeah, probably that young Moa got hit by that. That's not fun.
As I fell, he bled to death. I saw him go into a downstate as I fell. I get lost in Spirit Watch.
Spirit Watch is one of those ones, especially because it's not in the tournament rotation, so you don't see it as much on ranked and whatnot. You can turn around pretty easy in that map.
Yeah, especially when you fall in a hole and you're a bird and you have no idea what's going on. And I couldn't get back up there. He like healed himself before I found my way out of the hole.
Sure.
But in the end, I did get to stomp him, and I said really terrible things.
When you outplay somebody, it feels
Like,
so good.
I came out of my chair and was yelling into Mumble, and he was like, dude, I thought we were friends.
Friendship only goes so far until you win a 1v1, and then friendship kind of like, you know.
Friendship went away about 30 minutes into that fight.
Nice.
It was so much fun, though, and I feel like it's a good one. It's been a good profession and a good combo for me to dip my toes in the water in.
Yeah, definitely. I think
I love it.
Xiaobo is definitely one of the ones that I would suggest to a newer player who's trying to get into PvP, because good support, it can be really great as a team fight. It's also really good solo. It's got good potential to 1v1. You can kind of outplay people with your shouts, knowing when to cleanse, knowing when to dodge. You have a couple good burst skills, and you're constantly applying pressure with the one skills. It's a really good build.
I'm working on knowing when to do things. I'm
Yeah.
still just like, 789, 789. Like 3 fingers at once.
Yeah.
Seriously. So I'm getting there, but getting in and playing made all the difference.
Excellent. Excellent.
And it was lucrative.
So, let's talk about Kyhlo.
Let's talk about the Battle of Kyhlo.
So last time we
Figure out where to
showed,
go.
yep. So I got myself my own custom arena here. Let's go ahead and open the map real quick, and let's just talk about some stuff about Kyhlo. So the big thing about Kyhlo is obviously a conquest map, 3 capture points. We have windmill, clock tower, and mansion. Again, kind of like what we talked about before, which was home, far, and mid. Usually what you're going to be referring to these things, unless somebody specifically is telling you, hey, I need help on windmills, just in case you get turned around, it makes it a little easier. There's 2. The secondary mechanic here is the trebuchet. So you have the blue trebuchet and the red trebuchet. And the difference,
Those are fun.
obviously, is you can use your trebuchet based on your team. And I'll kind of show you guys real quick. So if I come out of the base over here, if I turn around, you'll kind of go up this little hill over here, and this is where your trebuchet is going to be. So I can get on the trebuchet here. Oh, the match hasn't started, but I can get on the trebuchet.
If
and
the match hasn't started.
I can use the trebuchet to kind of have map presence, big AoE knockdowns, big damage, all that stuff. And the clock tower, the clock tower itself over here, if you hit it with the treb, it actually blows it open. So then you...
Which looks amazing.
Yeah, so you can actually sit there. Let me see, I think I'm actually...
So the treb is going to the clock tower.
Yes. Yeah, so it starts out in the clock tower. So the first shot, you pretty much get to hit the clock tower right away and then take out that and kind of open up that capture point for treb shots.
And if somebody's in there,
They're
you
not
get
gonna
some really gratifying numbers.
Yes. So the other things you can do, I'm going to show you how to kind of get to clock tower over here. You're going to go through kind of like the center here. There's 2 ways you can go through here, through the middle. And there's the capture point right here, which is actually, the fights here get a little intense because if you get knocked off, you're off the capture point, you actually have to walk around unless you have shadow steps.
Yep.
And then the other thing is you can kind of go over here to the sides and break open this windows and actually use this to use for your ranged attacks to kind of pressure the point from afar.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use like what I like to do, because usually I'll be fighting on point and whatnot. If I see someone go there, I have like skills, and this is Xiaopo, to like go through the window and kind of fight them through here. And then also if I see someone get back there, if I'm fighting, I just jump back through the window, right? The other way is kind of like, I'll go down here as if I was coming up to the center here. You can run up the little side area over here and kind of go through the windows kind of like I just showed. So you can come here, and usually what I'll do if I come to the windows, I'll break them all just so I can have that open for myself. To one, if I need to juke in between there, because if someone's trying to fight me, I can actually kind of do like stuff like this and double back on them and make them run around this little thing, as well as if I'm getting pressured, I'll kind of like do one of these where I'll jump through and make them come through the window and chase me through the windows. So it's good because one, once these walls are down, it gives you a little bit easier way to see the other points, but you don't get super visibility. Like it's kind of hard to see through this window and see that my point's being attacked, or this, I need help over here. So communication is really, really important.
Well, and if you're ranged, you've got some cover there too. If you're running back and forth outside,
yes,
I've found that really valuable for myself.
So then, if I were to pressure the treb, because sometimes the treb's going to be a huge key factor here, I can come over here to the other side and kill the treb. So I would come over here and I would attack it and do damage and take it off. And when it dies, a repair kit kind of appears. So this is kind of like different. If you guys have played Stronghold, this is a little different. In Stronghold, you use supply to repair the treb. In here, there's an actual specific repair kit that spawns on the opposite side of the map. So if blue team, if I destroyed blue team and I was on blue team, the repair kit would spawn in this little hovel right here, and it would. So I would need to go pick this up and run all the way back.
All the way back to the map.
Yeah, and you don't need to interact. As soon as you walk next to the tread, it will auto repair itself. So you don't even need to interact or anything like that.
Nice.
And then obviously it kind of goes for the same thing. So I'm on the red side. The red side one would be over here. You see me drawing on the mini map over here.
So it's in your best interest to just not let your treb get murdered in the first place.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to save you running across the map.
it does take a little while to kill it. So it does have some play. Like you can pressure them if someone wants to go kill it. They're wasting some resource time to go kill that treb. So what actually we'll do is we'll get the treb really close to death, like one hit, and then we'll leave. And then what happens is if someone goes there, you'll shoot one AOE up there and then leave because it'll kill the treb,
Nice.
and then they have to go then take the time to go do it. That way, people get the enemy team will kind of look at it and go, "Oh, our treb's up. I'm gonna go there." And if you see someone go it, you strike it once, and they wasted time. So that's kind of like one of the.
I have not tried that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things you'll see, as well as one thing I kind of wanted to show over here too, is the mini jumping puzzle. So these boxes are destroyable. So if I hit these boxes and the game was actually started, these boxes are destroyable. So what you can do is you can actually come up here and jump up. I'm in combat speed, but Josh is probably making fun of me right now.
Josh is giving you thumbs up.
So, but yeah, you can
That
jump
was
up
kinda
here
awesome.
and actually get up here as a quick thing. So if you're on the other team and you don't want them to be using this, you can actually come over here and kill these boxes and kind of stop the jumping puzzle and make them have to use skills to get over here to this side. So that's actually one of the common things. If we have someone running far, you just kill those boxes. That way they can't have that quick access to mid.
Oh, guess what I'm going to do?
Yeah, and on this side, I think it's actually a little easier. So let's see. So you can do it two ways. You can use the boxes and kind of jump up that way. Or the more common thing is you use this over here, and then you use swiftness and whatnot, and jump up over this, like me being a bad. But yeah, you'll use this as your happy way to get up here, and then you can get up here that way. So there's a couple different like little mini jumping puzzles you can use to kind of traverse from the points to mid quicker. But you can see if you get in combat speed, someone cripples you, or someone's up on this ledge shooting you, it's going to be harder to get those things. But use those.
That's extremely cool.
Yeah, use those things to your advantage. The other thing you'll see too is again these boxes. You can use these to get in combat, and I use them to get in combat and build adrenaline. So like I'll sit here and only hit them a couple times and stay in combat, and if I had Signet of Rage and whatnot, I would actually start building adrenaline. So that way, if someone's coming up here, I can kind of build some adrenaline and stay in combat before they get there. So little things like that you can see, as well as like all the mini little juke spots like behind this ledge right here to block projectiles, and lots of little things you'll see some of the players. And that's why I encourage you guys. I'm just kind of showing you a quick overview of the map.
Yeah.
Little jump spots, things like that to get you familiar with the map. But once you play in here and you really start seeing all the little things that you can do on the map, like this is great when you're actually like, if you're on far point or home point, you can actually use this to kind of like watch the enemy's base. So you can be like, oh, okay, we got one guy coming out of base here and going to mid. And I'm like, oh, this guy's going to far point. I'm going to run back over here real quick and meet him halfway. So you can see, instead of like standing on a point, because I see a lot of players, especially new players, when they get a point, they'll stand on it because they want to make sure no one takes it. But if you have decent map awareness as well as communication, you can do stuff where you come off point a little bit and kind of like watch the enemy base for respawns, or kind of look at mid from afar and watch people. And then with especially Shoutbow specifically, I have skills to get back to the point fairly quickly so it doesn't get decapped and whatnot. So utilize that stuff, guys. Really look at your skills and the map itself, because you'll see all kinds of fun stuff you can do in this map. And of course, the Treb actually blows some of these buildings up as well, so you can stop people from having access to these jump points and stuff like that by using the Treb.
So I've been running around, I mean, like, using the Treb and taking out whoever's in the center is the most complicated I've gotten. That's as fancy as I've gotten. I actually had no idea that some of this stuff was here, so I'm excited to get in and try it.
Yeah, I encourage all you guys to like come into like one of these custom arenas, jump on the jumping puzzles, do like this kind of stuff real quick, just to try it, because you'd be surprised how much this gains you when you do stuff like that. And you're like, hey, I need help mid, and you can get to mid really quick. Boom! Instead of having to go all the way around, like I saved. If I had gone all the way around, that's like 20 seconds, right there. Instead, I'm on the point, ready to go, and if my buddy needs help, couple shouts, throw a banner on them, and all of a sudden I'm ready to go.
And that 20 seconds makes a difference.
It's a huge difference. That's, you know, a decap easy, that's almost a full cap, like all that stuff really starts adding up. And those little things in the map, as you get familiar with them, really start setting you apart as a player.
I love it.
That's
So,
Kyhlo, guys.
Is Kyhlo my homework?
Yes, definitely, guys. I want you guys to go in there, try some Kyhlo, try the jumping puzzles, use the treble a little bit, just feel it out, get some of the ranges, because what you'll see, and I encourage people, especially with shadow steps, thieves, mesmers, elementalists, they're the best. Unfortunately, because I don't have one, I can't really show you, but you can actually use your short bow and stuff like that, and or your shadow steps to actually blink up to here, so you can use the treb, fight on it. If somebody comes, you blink right off. If they try to chase you, blink back up, start using it again, force them to engage that treb, make them actually commit. As well as there's some really fun spots like shadow steps up on these ledges. So you can be fighting somebody and then bloop, bring up here, and then if you make them commit out to there or knock them off, or they knock you off, you can blink back up to these things. So test your shadow steps, guys. Test the shadow steps up here. There's a couple really fun ones too, like you can do, I don't want to give too much away, but you can do some really fun ones where you can shadow step through specific objects that you guys should test and see if you can really test that stuff. Because it gets pretty fun. It gets pretty fun when you, especially, like I watched a couple of the high-end guys when they stream at Thieves and they're playing a totally different map than I am. Because I'm like trying to jump through jumping puzzles and like trying to run around and they're just blinking between points super quickly. Mobility is just imperative. And that's why if you guys run those classes, please test out that stuff. Because I was sure you will have a lot of fun on this map.
Do I have to take my thief in there?
I'd say for you, for the newer players, I say
for you.
Well, for me, I stick with Shoutbow. I think it's a fun experience, and for the newer players, I think that's a better experience for you guys overall. But if you guys feel confident in your shadow step classes, your thief, your mesmer, go in here and just go haywire, man. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Maybe elementalist then.
Yeah, elementalist definitely is another good one.
Maybe I'll just stick with my Shoutbow a little bit longer.
Yeah, I definitely stay with that.
All right, so I will do some Kyhlo practice.
Yeah, please, guys. I definitely say that.
Awesome.
And then next week, I'm going Guardian.
Are you?
Yeah, Guardian's the next one, guys. I had a lot of people talk about Meditation Guardian and whatnot. It's the other class I play,
those hurt. Oh.
So I'll be going over Meditation Guardian next week, guys, but Kyhlo is this week's.
All right, so I will practice Kyhlo. You start thinking about how to tell me how not to die horribly to a Meditation Guardian.
Yes.
Because they hurt.
Yes, I will definitely. I'm really excited about that one. A lot of people really asked me about that one, so.
Awesome.
Oh, how's it going, guys?
Hugh, how do you feel about the Reaper?
Good. Real solid. There's a lot
You're
of really,
a liar.
There's a lot of really cool things about that. Like, I mean, I've looked at a lot of it, I've played with it a little bit, but actually seeing a lot of the stuff in play and described and all those things, it looks good. It looks real good. I got a Necromancer. I'll be playing that probably.
You know, you were trying so hard to pay attention to your game the whole time.
I was trying.
Every once in a while, you just look up and, oh my gosh. All right, so we are going to hop into, thank you. I was like, I don't know the password. We're going to hop into Hugh's custom arena so we can take a look and he can, well, smack me around, I guess.
Well, kinda. I'm gonna kind of show you guys. Today we're gonna be going over Guardian, and we're gonna be going over one of the meta builds that I've been running, as well as it's been seen a lot of play competitively. If you guys watch Fanaram or any of those guys like that, in EU, there's a bunch of guys. They're playing this thing called the Hammer Guardian, and so we're gonna be going over that thing right here. So. If you'd be so kind, Miss Ruby, jump on the blue team and go to the beach, and I will kind of explain how this thing works. Hammer. Well, let's go ahead and start quickly by just going over the build. So the build is you run a hammer, obviously, and then we're going to go ahead and get a scepter and a focus.
All right.
So these things are going to be really, really important. I'll kind of explain why in a second. You're going to run Sigil of Air and Intelligence on your hammer. Now, Sigil of Intelligence is going to be when you swap into this bad boy, you get 3 attacks, 100% crit chance, as well as Sigil of Air, which is when you crit, you have a 50% chance to do a lightning strike. And then on the Scepter and Focus, we're going to be running Air again and Fire. Now, this guy right here is all about damage and burst damage, and actually, which is really funny about this guy too, is he provides a lot of support to the team. So not only is he high burst, or she, high burst.
Thank you.
Pretty decent CC, and one of the skills on here, which is extremely pivotal to build, but also has some support, which is really cool. So then we're going to run Berserker Amulet, because again, you want that damage, you're about that burst. And then this is kind of up for debate. You can kind of switch this around. I like going Pack, because Pack, for people that don't know, gives you a little bit swiftest duration. So this is one of the big things about this build. One of the big problems is it has never much mobility. It's really slow. And when you're trudging to a point, you're like, man, this sucks. But on chance hit, you get Might, Swiftness, and Fury, which is great. Because this is essentially when you're in fights, you're getting the Swiftness, you're getting the Fury, which you need for the extra crit chance, and some Might. But that also is to all your allies. So again, more support. This is actually something that I saw on the meta build as like optional, and then I watch, like I said, I'll shout out again to Fanaram. He runs this build, and they run Pack, and they call it the Wolf Pack because a couple other guys run it. Nice. And they're getting hit a bunch in team fights, but they're spreading this Fury, this Swiftness, this Might to everybody around them, and it's really strong. So this is a great thing to put on there. And again, the sixth thing is you get more Swiftness, duration, as well as precision. So when in fights, you have a lot of Swiftness, and after the fight's over, if you survived, you have more Swiftness. Of course, I don't want to get kicked out. Good call, Miss Ruby.
Please move. I don't want to have to restart.
Let's talk Hammer. So Hammer, you're going to see over here is we just got basic auto attacks. So you're going to see right here. I'll go ahead and swing it. Fairly slow. But the thing that you get here is the third attack, which is really slow, but actually does an extra ton of damage and gives you some prot. So you're really not going to want to use this too much until you're kind of out of skills. But if you're fighting and for cleave, it's really, really strong. And then this, the Mighty Blow. This thing right here is amazing. Not only is it a blast finisher, right? So you get a little blast there at the end, but it's on a 5-second cooldown. Really, really good stuff. And it does a ton of damage. So when you're in fights and you can use this, it's really good. Now, mind you, it does kind of lock you into an animation. You can't really move out of that, but it's really, really strong. If you get like a down person, or you can get them with like the biggest thing on this thing, which is the next skill, the Immobilize, which is a line Immobilize that goes fairly far, about 1,200 range. Look at that sucker go.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
really, really far, and that'll immobilize every target it hits on the way. It does not stop on the first target.
Okay, I think I'm over there, so if you could aim that.
Yeah. I'm not going to hit you, but I'm going to hit you. But yeah, so if you get somebody with the Immobilize, you can easily go hit him with this and get some nice damage on them. And again, when you weapon swapped into this guy, you get 3 guaranteed crits, as well as Sigil of Air, another proc of damage, right? So then I just talked about the Immobilize. Has some damage, really good line projectile. But then we have Banish. Now, this skill is really funny. Banish is probably one of the most satisfying skills I have to say in the entire game. Take that hammer and you just smack them and they just go flying. And man, when you hit them, I always feel like such a boss. I'm like, yes, I just took that guy out. He's gone somewhere in the stratosphere, and you're just sitting there by yourself like, yeah.
All right, I get a huge kick out of the big gratifying skill.
Oh yeah,
so this just makes me feel better about myself.
Amazing skill.
How bad I am.
Here's the best part about this skill. When someone's downed in PvP, they're immobilized, they're down on the ground. This is a great skill to use when they're on the point and they're dead. So if they're fighting and they know they're going to die, they're going to try to die on the point. When they're down the point, get off the point. And it gets them out there, and so it's really good. Like, the only exceptions you got to worry about is Thieves and Elementalists, because they can come back to the point with Misform, or they can blink back. So wait for those to happen. When they use those, then banish them off, or get them off. Or, start the Stomp to make them use those skills defensively so you don't get the Stomp off, and as soon as they don't, banish them off the point, and they're good to go.
That's actually, I'm going to interrupt for a second.
Sure.
If you're super new to PvP, that's another thing. Die on the point.
Yeah,
if you're going to die, do it there.
Yeah, dying on the point is the best. Obviously, you want to try to disengage. As always, the first thing, you try not to die, but if you're going to.
Don't plan for it, but if it's going to happen.
Then you might as well die on the point.
Or if you're in Skyhammer, die on a panel.
Yes, so you can respawn faster. So I'll show you this real quick. It's got a fairly long cooldown, so you got to be careful with this. But about a 1-second channel on that thing. Animation's fairly minuscule. You don't really have a lot of opportunity to see it if you're an enemy. So it's kind of like, just a simple little animation, and it will send you flying. Now this skill, this is the bread and butter of this hammer here. Ring of Warding. 40-second cooldown, really, really long. Immobilizes you when you use it, but you put him in the pain train. This thing, the pain dome, they can't get out. They have to use stability to walk out of this, and it combos as a light field. So if you're with your blast finisher, you can get a blast field in there as well to give them, I believe it's blind. But yeah, this is the pivotal skill. It's 5 seconds they're stuck in there, or they have to pop a stability or some skill to get out. Whereas this is a weapon skill, they're probably going to pop a utility skill to get out. And you can hit multiple people. You can pain train a lot of people in there, and they just got to kind of stay in there, which is when you use this, you can just start wailing on them through 1 skill. You got your 2 skill. If they blink out, you can immediately hit them mobilize. So I'm going to explain the synergy with the utility skills in a second.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and go to the second weapon set. So this is the thing you're going to usually try to engage with. You always want to stay with your scepter and focus when you engage with, and this is why. It's your only ranged weapon before we get that bow. Oh, when we get that bow, hand bow's going to be real. We're going to get that hand bow.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I'm so excited. But we got the 1 skill, fairly slow projectiles, but they do hit fairly hard, and because you have air and fire. Oh yeah, I'm so excited about Hambo. Hambo Guardian. I'm gonna Hambo everything. I'm gonna Hambo everything. All my classes. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it someday. So 1 skill is your projectile. You're gonna use that fairly slow, like I said, but because air and fire, you can get both those procs, and you can get those crits, get all that explosions in the far. But this is the 1. This is the 2 skill in all your weapon sets. You have your big slam with your hammer, mighty blow, and then you have this, which is smite. Smite is, I use this, it's got a fairly long range, and when you let it go, I have it on a cast to there and let it go to fire. It hits multiple times. It actually hits 16 times. So
I am, wow, reflexively irritated looking at that. I've been on the receiving end of that a lot lately.
Yes, it's really good. And it kind of sets up your Virtue of Justice to give you the burning stacks and all the other things that go with that, right? Then we have Chains of Light. Chains of Light, this is what makes this really good. It's an immobilize on a half-second cooldown with a 900 range. This sets up your smite. So I walk over to a foe, I click them, I immobilize them with this really quickly, and then I drop smite on top of them, make them have to blow a cooldown, and then you're getting your fire procs. You're also swinging at them, giving them some pressure from afar, make them commit to you or make them pop utilities. So when you come in with the hammer, you're good. Next thing is Ray of Judgment. This thing is it's a line, kind of like a line projectile. So you fire it like this. It will bounce off them, it'll blind them on hit, bounce back to me and give me regeneration or an ally, and then it will bounce again. It bounces 4 times. So you have a possibility of blinding them twice and giving yourself or an ally regeneration. Really good utility. Good for when you're in those little skirmishes and you need to get a couple blinds off and whatnot. But then another great skill. This is actually another one of those combo skills I'll explain in a second. Shield of Wrath. This thing blocks 3 times. Is it 3 times? Yeah, 3 times.
Oh, this thing.
And then after it blocks, if it doesn't block 3 attacks, if you're not being focused, it explodes for a ton of damage, right? This is great for stomps. This is great for getting the damage for burst. It's great for you to block a specific skill, and it's instant, so I can be stunned and pop this. So it's really, really good. 45-second cooldown. All these skills, like the 4 and 5 skills, are really, really long cooldowns, but they have big, big, big things, big moments, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to go over utilities real quick, and then I'll go over traits, and then we'll go into a couple fights real quick about it. So Shelter.
Go into a couple fights.
Shelter is your heal. It's amazing. It's 2-second block, 30-second cooldown, and it heals you for a fairly decent amount of life. I got 1,400 life right now, about 1,500 life. So it heals me about a third of my life, right? We have Judge's Intervention. Now, Judge's Intervention, sorry. This is the skill. This is the thing that makes this build. I love this skill. It is amazing. When you pop this, you teleport to a foe and burn them.
And turn into a Hambo. Oh, no.
No Hambo yet. And it breaks stuns, and it has 1,200 range. So this skill, and I'll explain the synergy with this, because this is the thing. This is the thing that makes this build amazing. But it teleports you, so it's a great teleport. Burning. With the trade I got, it gives me some healing. Breaks stun. It's everything you want. 36-second cooldown. Fairly good. Smite Condition is amazing. Cure a condition nearby foes. Do more damage if you cure a condition. So you want to wait for yourself to have a condition on you, but when you do it, it's a big AoE, it's instant, and it does a ton of damage. So this is great. Again, another instant skill. Now this one's your oh crap button. This is a stun break, and it converts all conditions on you into boons and heals you. So you're like, wow, I'm getting spiked by a bunch of conditions. I'm stunned. I can break that, convert everything, and be good to go.
All right, I'm going to need 4 of those.
Yes, yeah, I would love 4 of those.
Once.
And then the last thing, you're just going to have renewed focus. Long cooldown, but it's essentially a 2-second invulnerability. Now, the thing you got to be careful with is because it's invulnerability, you can see on the tooltip I'm hovering over right now, it prevents capture point contribution, which means if you're trying to defend a point, what's going to happen is if there's another person on there, you're going to go invulnerable so you can't take damage, but they're going to start decapping the point, or if they're trying to cap the point, they will cap the point for 2 seconds. So it's a little scary. You got to be careful. Ideally, you don't want to be the one standing on the point. You want to have somebody else because you're the kind of squishier person. However, this skill brings up all of your virtues. So you'll get your virtue of justice, your virtue of resolve, and your virtue of courage all back. So ideally, what you'd be doing is popping these, and when you're done with those and you need a time, a break, also a heal, you pop this, 2 seconds of vulnerability, get your heal, again from the trade I'll explain in a second, as well as get all of these guys back up again.
Love it.
Okay, so let's go ahead.
I'm way too familiar with that one.
It's really good. The problem, and I do this all the time still because I'm a noob, I will pop it and then I'll dodge. And that'll break the channel and I lose. You don't get the heal, you don't get your virtues back, and you just canceled your invulnerability.
Let me see.
Probably the worst thing you could do. So be careful when you're doing that. You are invulnerable. Do not worry. Sometimes I'll see like an Earthshaker or a big seal come at me and I'm like, I gotta dodge that, even though I'm invulnerable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that was really bad of me. So be very careful when you use that. Do not dodge, it will break that. Or don't use another skill, it will break that channel. So let's talk about traits really quick. I'm just going to blow through these and I'm going to go into some fights and show you. So the trait you want to go is 01616. The one here is when activating Virtue of Justice, you blind nearby foes. So anytime I use I have it set to Q, my Virtue of Justice, you will give everybody around you a burn, as well as the next outgoing attack for everybody, all the enemies around you is blinded. So they're blind. They get a blind stack on there. And then you also get some other stuff later. I'll explain. You get might as well, all that stuff. Valorous defense when Aegis, when you are struck while below health threshold. So gain Aegis. Yeah, so you get an Aegis, a free Aegis essentially when you're struck below 50% health. Just a good defensive skill. So here we go. Meditations recharge 20% faster. That is for all of these guys are meditations. Your renewed focus.
Okay.
All of your utilities are. Unfortunately, your shelter's not. But again, 20% cooldown reduction. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I didn't say this minor. Virtue of Courage recharges when you rally. So Virtue of Courage is this right here. Will actually come back off cooldown when you rally. So if you're down and someone can get you up, you'll get essentially your Aegis back, and then you could pop it to get another Aegis. So it's good for when you come back up. You have another couple defensive cooldowns. Might of the Protector, gain might when you block an attack. Just a nice block. It's 19 seconds. It's just fairly long. And then this is the core of the build here. Is using meditation skills heal you. So all of these guys, these four, the utilities and the elite are all meditations, and you see it heals for about 2,000. For, I mean, right here between these three, I got 6,000 life. With my heal, another 4,000. I pretty much can heal myself back to full health by using these.
I can't kill y'all.
Yeah. And then we have...
bad.
Yes. Vigorous precision, gain vigor when you deliver a critical hit, is essentially 6.5 seconds of vigor on a 10-second cooldown. So that means I'm able to dodge more. So I can be defensive when I need to be, because I don't have very many good defensive cooldowns. I have more offensive cooldowns, but all these things are kind of helping my defense. And so then we get to Inspired Virtue, which allows you to get might, regeneration, protection when you activate these virtues. So all those things make sense. Prot, all that good stuff. Deal more damage under the effect of Aegis. So when I use Aegis and I have Aegis on me, I'm actually going to do 20% more damage, which is a lot. So when I'm coming into a fight with Aegis, I'm going to do a lot of burst damage up front. Virtue of Retribution, so I get retaliation when I pop activate a virtue, just so people hit me, they take damage.
Yeah.
And then Absolute Resolution, activating a Virtue of Resolve removes conditions from nearby allies. Virtues of Resolve's passive is stronger. So this is, again, going back to that whole, supporting your allies. Mm-hmm. So if someone's downed, you can pop Virtue of Resolve and Virtue of Courage to remove any condies that are down on them, give you, which I'm about to talk about in a second, which is stability to yourself, and I believe and allies. So you can pop both those virtues on top of a downed body, essentially clear them of any conduct. So a lot of times they'll have bleed or poison or stuff like that, which slows you down, and they can be banished, right? Because somebody can go over there and knock them off the point. You can give those two virtues down, and then essentially they have stability and they have no condies on them, which lets you rally them up really fast. And you're doing it to yourself, so if you're getting spiked as well, you're giving yourself stability and yourself cleansing all those condies, as well as healing and doing all the other things that are on this massive tooltip, right?
So if they're on fire.
Yes. You're also giving them protection, all those things, right? And then Power of the Virtues, deal extra damage for each boon you have, 1%. We're going to have a lot of boons on us, so this makes sense. So
love it.
Let's talk about combos here. Let me show you the combo that makes the most sense, what makes this build. So when I'm in Hammer, right, if I use Ring of Warding, I'm stationary. I can't move, right? I'm stuck. So it's really hard to land this skill. But if I had like an instant teleport skill that would teleport me 1200 range to an enemy, per se, I could start channeling this skill because it's instant. And as long as there's not a red bar underneath this Judge's Intervention, so you can see I'm really far from you, but I can actually go like...
Trying to make it farther.
No, don't you run. You can't run. So even like if you go up this path, right, I can teleport all the way up here. So this is really good.
This is about to suck, isn't it?
Yeah. So 100%. So but what's really cool is you can do stuff like this. Like go to the point, Ruby. Go up to the point up there in the middle. I can actually be like down here.
Why am I doing this? This is going to hurt.
I can be on this point down here, like right here, and I'm actually in range of you right now. So I'm going to hit Ring of Warding, and then I'm going to hit Judge's Intervention really quick in quick succession to get those. Oops. Okay, I didn't get it there. I actually should have targeted you. So if I would have targeted you, that would have worked perfect. But yeah,
my finger slipped.
You can see that if you're down in like spots like this, and you actually have this on, that's just a complete fail. You can actually teleport places. I'll do it in a second. If I was on dev, I would have done that perfectly. But on live. But what you'll see is you can do like Ring of Warding. This is the big combo here. You want a Ring of Warding and Judge's Intervention to people to essentially lock them in place. By locking them in place, it allows your allies to come in there and do all the damage and do those things. As well as, because of like having Aegis up, I do 20% more damage. As well as being able to immobilize people coming in, I can do all those things. So let me try this again. Now that I actually have you targeted. So I'll be like this, and now I have you.
Oh, I'm sorry for laughing.
I come in and I'm able to do the Ring of Warding on you, keep you in there, and do a decent amount of damage to you, right? That was just 3 auto attacks and the Ring of Warding. But the other thing, too, I can do, which goes further into the combo, I can start Shield of Wrath. I can start Shield of Wrath on me. You won't even see me, right? I can be down here. You won't even see me. I'll start Shield of Wrath. I will weapon swap, get 100% crit chance, pour it on you at Judge's Intervention, switch over, and have Ring of Warding on you. The shield will proc, doing a bunch of damage, 100% crit chance. You're encased, and I can pop, if I want to, one of my smite conditions, depending if I have a condition, or if I just want to get the extra damage. All this happens in like a blink of an eye, and you never see it. So you're like, let me wait for my weapon cooldown to come off. Yeah, you're capping the point, and I'm like, so I'm coming in, and someone targets you, someone like puts the target on you, right? So I can, because sometimes I won't be able to see you. But if someone puts targets, you can like, hey, call target mid. I can take that target. So if I don't have you, I can take that target like that, right? So I have a call target button, and I have a take target button. So I can do take target. I have no idea where you are, but I look for my judges, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting close. Okay, I'm in range right now.
Okay.
I'm now in range. So I'd be like this, and I'm hitting there, and I'm in, and then at times everything goes, and it does a ton of damage, right? Now, I could have waited a split second for my my Shield of Wrath to have a second, so you literally can pour it on and all that's instant. But for showing, I just want to make sure I actually did it right. So yeah, you can pop Shield of Wrath, wait, like count like 2 seconds. Usually I do like 1, 2, sweep over, start doing Ring of Warding, Judge's Intervention, and then hit Spike Condition. And you can see how much I hit you all the way over there with Spike Condition. Yeah, so you hit everybody with this thing.
Still punching me.
Yep. I love it. But you can see how synergetic this guy is, right? Like, he comes in and bursts in an instant, and he's just gone.
All right, I need to get... This is how I spend most of my time on my Guardian. What I'm doing right now. It's just ow, ow, ow.
The thing I really like about this guy is that not only is he high burst, lots of CC, like mobilizes in PvP, win fights. I can do like this, right? I just make sure, wait for you to...
Start dancing.
Start dancing on the point, right? I come in from afar, and I'm like, okay, she's got Aegis. I'm going to go ahead and hit with this immobilize. Like, you actually dodged the immobilize, but if there's a half-second immobilize, I hit you with the immobilize, hit you with that.
Here, I'll go in here to make you feel better.
No. Okay. But like, you know, I can get you like with this, and then immediately swap over, and then start this. Make you commit to me, right? And then if I get you down, and you're going to use like your knockback skill, I can blind you with this to make it so you don't hit me with the knockback. I can stability it if I need to. I can cleanse conditions. I got a lot of utilities here.
You have a lot of things to play around with.
Yes, this guy is a lot of fun to play. The problem is you saw Ruby's running the same build. You're really squishy. I hit you with like 3 auto attacks and you take half damage, right? Like, you got to be really careful with this build. So this build, I would ideally say what you want to do with this build when you're first starting out is just get the ropes, really feel it out, because it dies really fast. So the last build we showed you was the Warrior Shout Bow. really tanky, lots of shouts to keep you up. This is similar because you're doing all your utilities are kind of healing. You're doing those things. You have a lot of blocks and vulnerabilities, blinds, immobilizes, all those things. But you're really squishy in comparison, right? Like you'll fight somebody, and if you get 2v1'd, you're going to go down really fast. You got to make sure you call for friends, get out, mobilize, put ring of warding down, do whatever you got to do to get out of there, right?
Okay, calling for friends, I'm good at. Please help, I'm getting beat up again.
But yeah, like the fun about this build, the absolute fun is when you have like, you know, you're with a couple friends or you're with a decent team and they can call targets for you and you can be like, you know, you get your ring on and they come in and they do your thing and then you're just like getting all these AoE retaliations. You're getting
ow, stop. Yeah, I'm at half health.
You can come in and do a lot of good with this guy, and as well as he's so good at giving support. So homework, guys, I want you guys to try this guy. If I would say when you start out, I would put like a soldier's amulet on. Just for starting, get used to the flow, get used to the ranges, get used to like the skills and how a lot of them have pretty decent wind up, stuff like that. So I would say start with soldiers. So it's the tanky, get a little more life on you, you get a little more tanky.
Slightly less squishy.
Yes, much less squishy. Try that out, guys. Play around with it, have some fun. Like the other build here, there's actually, if you go to Meta Battle, there's another build too, which is Greatsword instead of Hammer. If you want to try another build, try that guy too. Again, go with soldiers, really simple. Go with those guys first. But I like Hammer. Hammer's a lot of fun.
What's the even Hammer?
I love Hammer. But try soldiers, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Play with this build. It's on Meta Battle. It's at the top. Medi Guardian. Hook this guy up. Play it. Go into unranked arena. Go into custom arena, and have some fun. Have some fun. Teleport around. Put some rings on people. Immobilize people. It's so
I would like to enjoy this as much as you do.
I have so much fun. This
not
guy
be as scared as I currently am.
It's funny because when I play warrior, right, I'll play like my shout bow or my hand bow or things like that, right? And I always feel like I sacrifice something going one way or the other, right? When I'm hand bow, it's just me. It's all about me, right? All about me. But when I play shout bow, it's all about my friends. All about, you know, supporting everybody, dropping banners, doing all those things, right? But when I'm Mediguard, I feel like I can kind of get a little bit of both worlds. I have my burst, I have my damage, I have my immobilize, and I have my support. This guy's good. He's a lot of fun.
All right, so the age of Ruby's shout bow is over. I'm sorry, I still have her.
Yeah,
I will still play her sometimes.
She's really good. Yeah, it's really good. I love shout bow. It's a lot of fun.
But now it's time for my Guardian.
Playing with friends and having all those guys to support you when you play this makes it even better.
All right, so you're about to get kicked. I guess it doesn't matter anymore. All right, so I'm going to get started on this. You guys are going to do homework with me. And here are the things that we kind of harp on every time, but I think it's for a good cause.
Yep.
Metabattle is your friend.
Yes.
Metabattle.com is your friend. I feel like I'm almost shilling when I say this, but I cannot emphasize enough how absolutely valuable my custom arena has been.
Oh yeah.
Going in there with we're leeching off of Hughes right now.
Yeah.
But we are going in there with guildmates, and I'm practicing that way, and it has made an enormous difference. It took me a while to work up my courage to jump into unranked. You guys remember that? But I think getting that experience and getting that where I had guildmates who were willing to come in and take it slow and say, you know, why don't you just, you know, try this and see how you feel about it, because you're not going to be able to go into even unranked and say, hey guys, I'm kind of learning, I want to practice a thing, so can you just stand there and let me wail on you for a little while? It turns out that's not really well received.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They laughed at me. So I'll give this one a try for a couple weeks, and we'll see how I do.
And it's
you guys try it with me.
And it's never bad to switch back and forth with stuff you're a little comfortable. If you feel like I'm in a rut, take a break. Go play something else. Go play another character you're really fond of, like Shoutbow or
there it is.
List.
I was about to say, what would you suggest?
But yeah, and then come back to it, right? Like come back and like, oh, okay, this is what I was missing with this. This was as well as if you want, like another good thing, a good resource to do is watch people on Twitch. There's a lot of good Twitch streamers out there that run, you know, Guardian, that run these builds. And it's good to go watch those guys and just watch, because you'll see a lot of things there that maybe you don't realize that you're not doing right, or you're doing right, but maybe you're just executing it a little off, right? Like I would definitely support that. Like I'm a Twitch monster. I watch every game I play. I watch all the Twitch streams.
There are some really good people on there. So
there is.
Phantom, I hear, is one of them.
I love Phantom. I love watching Phantom.
I do too. All right, thank you very much. Wish me luck on my homework. Well,
definitely.
Look at this. My little pie chart is half orange. We're going to make that a whole lot more blue.
Excellent. No, that's
I've
good.
been doing my homework.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have a lot better than me. I got like 99% warrior and 1% guardian. And
Dude, we need to work on this. Hi, Hugh. Thank you for coming back for PvP 101.
No problem. I love it.
So we had a really good suggestion last week on Twitter that Hugh pointed out to me that we haven't covered in PvP 101, downstate fighting.
Yeah, and actually that's, it's so funny for me because, again, sadly, I've been doing this for 2 years or whatever. So for me, downstate fighting is just so natural, but it's really unique to Guild Wars 2. There's no really other game that does that. You see this in shooting games, stuff like that with downstates, but not really in any MMO at all. So I wanted to go over that because that was actually a really good idea, especially because we've gone over Warrior already and we've gone over
Guardian.
Yes, Guardian. So because of that,
As much time as I spend downstate fighting, I should probably get better at it.
So because of that, though, it makes sense that we should, if you want to look at the password, I got it right there, Miss Ruby.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
But yes.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's really interesting to have that, especially because the Warrior is really unique, and the Guardian actually has some unique things as well.
Accept my invitation. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, why am I not seeing it? Are you inviting the right Hugh?
Yeah.
Am I not?
You guys.
I'm bad at partying, I guess.
Is your name still Nightmare?
Yeah, it's still Nightmare. Beast mode. All right. So
I feel really rejected right now, but whatever.
we're gonna go over some of that stuff. I'm gonna kind of go over Warrior first because that's the one I know the best.
Is it really? Is
Yeah.
it you?
I mean, I don't want to show my little pie chart here, but my pie chart is rather sad looking. 92% Warrior, 6% Guardian, and there's this little sliver there, Necro and Ranger. Other than that, there's really not much more I can do. So, yeah, I'm gonna hide my shame of Warrior.
I have no idea. I'll just go to your arena.
Yeah, just go to my arena. Just look to good old Hugh's Hoobastank habitat.
That is an amazing name.
I love the snake.
Right?
What can I say? Perfect. All right. So let's go over
Yay.
Warrior. Warrior specifically has 4 skills. All downstates have 4 skills. Your 1 skill, usually your basic auto attack of some kind. For my Warrior, he likes to play dirty, so he's grabbing some rocks and throwing them at you. And the next thing he has for his downstate 2 skill is Hammer. That Hammer is a CC, so usually your 1 skill is damage. So if you're in a close fight, you can actually down the other person, which is actually what you want as a Warrior, and I'll explain why in a second. And then the 2 skill, most times, is to avoid the stomp. So we want to come over and hop over to the mine.
I switched.
Oh, perfect. So I'll come over.
switched to blue team.
Sweet. I'll come over to you on the runes over there.
Okay.
So yeah, the 2 skills usually to avoid stomp. So like we have, like for instance, the Warrior has the Hammer. He'll throw the Hammer, and it's a single CC. It's got a little bit of wind up, and it'll knock the person down to avoid the stomp. And then the 3 skill is unique to everybody in a sense. They all kind of do different things. The one thing the Warrior has, which is Vengeance, which is very unique to Warrior, which is you get back up. You straight up get back up.
I have yet to use that successfully.
Yes, so
I regret it every time.
It's a little off-putting sometimes because you there's really good things and really bad things. The good thing is you can get up, start using all your skills. You can use your heals, your utilities, your weapon swaps. You're essentially alive again, but only for a short amount of time. I believe it's about 10 seconds. The bad thing is I'm going to take off my amulet if I can. Oh no, I'm not going to buy an amulet. So yeah, I'll actually switch to Berserker so you can kill me easier. Yes, let's do that. That's a good idea. But yes.
Get your chest because it's driving them insane.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. But yes, the big thing is I can get them to start fighting, but the one thing it doesn't do is you don't contest cap points anymore. So it's really scary to use it. There's a very often times you never really want to use the Vengeance. A couple places you want to use Vengeance. If you're in a downstate fight and you've downed them second, right? Or you know you're not going to win the downstate fight. So if I down you first, then you down me, I can throw rocks all day, and I'll probably win that fight, depending on who it is. If I go down second, what I can do is I can use Vengeance, run over and stomp you, and then pray that there's a 25% chance that I will rally off of that. So when I use Vengeance, it's the double-edged sword. I can get up and fight, but if I do win the downstate fight, like if I go over and stomp you, I may still die. Right? I only got 10 seconds. And I do not contest cap points. So ideally, if you're down and you realize there's really no way for you to win, for the warrior, it's best to just accept the death and come back on the respawn. It's very rare that you want to pop it. Now, another good example I use is if I'm in a 2v2 instance.
Die faster.
I'm sorry, I'm in my tanky Shellboy warrior set. If I'm in my if I'm in a 2v2 scenario and there's like another person down and I'm down, right, and my other two people are fighting my ally and the enemy, it's actually sometimes better for me to pop Vengeance to avoid the other person rallying off me and becoming a 2v1 scenario. If I can Vengeance get up, get that one stomp, even if I do die, for that split little bit of time, it's a 2v1. I will die, but at least we might win the overall 2v2 fight. So as Ruby finally kills me here, because I'm in my super tanky...
Wait for this to explode and finish you off. There we go.
So let me show you the skills real quick. So you see, you have your downstate. You can see it says fight to survive. So my health is diminishing right here. So I have my rock throw, which is some decent damage. I can throw them. And then I have this wind up. It's a 2-second knockdown, but it has a 1-second channel. So really what you're doing is when you're fighting, I'm going to kind of keep myself up and keep going between almost dead and not. You want to throw the hammer when you know they're about to stomp. So if Ruby came over to try to stomp me, I could be like, boom, throw my hammer and go. So like if I'm trying to survive on this point because I'm fighting, I'm like, okay, cool. So you see it, boom, get that. And that will almost give me enough time, to get my Vengeance off. Because Vengeance, when the third skill, when you come up, actually is on cooldown. You can't use the Vengeance right away. You have to survive long enough. And it's balanced so if I get down and the person immediately goes for the stomp, even if I interrupt them, they'll still get the stomp up before Vengeance comes up. So really force that. It depends, because a lot of times you want to bleed them out, right? You want to, whenever you're playing PvP, the goal is to bleed the person out. You don't want to stomp them out because they're going to come on respawn and you have to deal with them.
It's just going to go faster.
Yes. But because the warrior has Vengeance, you got to weigh that. Because if I'm sitting there just letting him bleed out and another person comes to fight me, he could Vengeance and help essentially have a 2v1 for that short amount of time. So you got to weigh that, right? But if you do see, like, this is a newer player thing that I see because maybe they do it in PvE, because I know I use Vengeance in PvE whenever I'm going to kill something. They'll Vengeance when it's a 1v1 and they lost. Now what that means to me is if I'm on point, as long as my point's captured, I can leave you.
Right.
Because you're not going to decap my point. Right? So, he Vengeance, okay, cool, I'm out. So I'm going to leave him, he'll chase me or do whatever he's going to do, but I know for a fact that there's nothing he can do to that point to get that away from me. So you got to be careful when you're using Vengeance. You got to really weigh it. But on the opposite end, you got to be careful because you don't want to just let them sit there, because if another person comes to fight you, you may be in big trouble real quick.
Yeah.
So that's the warrior. And again, it doesn't really have AoE CC. It doesn't really have a ton of damage when it's down, but it has the utility of Vengeance, which you got to weigh that both on offense, both when you're down and when you're dealing with the downstate warrior, to really think about exactly how you're going to play that out.
Yeah. So if you're new, trial and error on the Vengeance thing is okay, and you're probably going to screw it up. I know I did. I still screwed up, and that's okay. If you're experienced, this is just, super simple, and it's a thing that you're aware of, and it's a thing that you get, and it's okay that you're screwing it up because you're new. You're allowed. So don't worry about it. I did.
I will definitely say there's a lot of times I see people mess this up, and in high level as well. You'll see people, they'll be like, "Oh, you're coming to save me. Oh, okay, cool. I'll 2v1 this because I know you can't save me." And as they Vengeance, a banner will come down, and that would have rezzed them. But instead, it now went on a Vengeance body, which doesn't do anything, right? So again, it's the communication there. Obviously, when you get to like a more competitive level, that communication is really important, right? Like, hey, I'm down. Are you going to save me? No. Do you want me to get up and fight? No. Okay, I'm going to die. Or you want me to fight with you? Cool. I'll Vengeance right here. We'll fight for a little bit. We might get that kill, but maybe not. And also communicating, because when Vengeance goes down, that's the other thing I didn't say. When Vengeance expires, you're done. Like, you go straight to dead. You don't go back down.
That's the screwed up part.
Yeah. So it's good to communicate when you're going to die if you vengeance. Because like, for instance, if you're 2v1ing somebody and that person's about to go to the downstate, if your vengeance goes off and you die, they rally, right? So you're like, hey, I'm about to die. Hold off on DPS for a second. I die. Okay, hit them one last time. He goes to downstate. You win the fight, right?
Yeah.
Really important. It's interesting because vengeance is one of those things where I'm always like, it's easy. But then when you really think about all the tactics that come along with it and the communication that can be done,
there's a high risk, high reward thing happening there.
Definitely.
And when you're really new, it feels mostly just high risk.
Yes.
At the end.
So I would definitely try your best to make those assessments. But if you're ever kind of like on the fence, I would probably just not push it.
Yeah.
Just let it happen. Let the death happen, and then respawn, and then try to fight that again. All right.
Yeah.
That's what I would suggest. Practice it, learn it, understand the situations, learn from them, and then use it as you feel more comfortable.
Use it when you're sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and just accept that you're going to screw it up. It's allowed. It's okay. Sometimes people are going to sound like you're not allowed.
Yeah.
But
so I'm going to go switch over to Guardian. We're going to go over that really quick, and then we're going to call it. I'm only going to do these first two because I've only done Guardian and Warrior so far. But that is, as we go through the other professions, I'll kind of, at the end of it, kind of talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, we can come in and revisit.
Yep. So let's talk Guardian. So Guardian, again, one skill is a beam skill. It's a beam skill that does some damage. The next thing is the 2 skill, which is a big AoE, essentially bubble that knocks everybody back. Now, this is an AoE CC on anybody around you, right? So that's unique, again, to the Guardian and not the Warrior, where the Warrior was just a single person. The Warrior's a single person with the hammer. The Guardian is AoE. And then we have...
I'm just on the same point.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just dancing.
Excellent. So I'll come over. And the third skill is an AoE ground target, what do they call it? It's a symbol that will pulse healing. And this healing is a lot. It's a lot of healing. And it does damage as well.
Sadly familiar with that.
And I also want to point out as well that your sigils will still proc on damage when you're down. So when you're using, for instance, this is my Mediguard. When I go down, if you're not careful, I'll still proc everything and just do a ton of damage to you. So you got to be careful when you're fighting, when downing these guys. So I will
devil horns.
Yeah, I know. This is my flan. She's so cute. Oh man, she's so pretty. If you want to go ahead and down me real quick, Miss Ruby, so I can show off these skills, I would appreciate it. So
ridiculous to kill.
Also
I suck. So
no, this is the Mediguard. She'll go down real fast. She's got very squishy.
You are squishier.
So one skill, easy. Just channel it. It actually hits multiple times, which is good for proccing sigils and all those things that are damage. 2 skill again, knocks back foes. AoE. Again, this has a half second, so it's a little harder to dodge. The Warrior's really simple. It's got a 1 second. You'll see him kind of like pull back, and you're like, okay, I can dodge roll that. And that way I don't get that 2 second knockdown, right? The same thing with this guy is it's a 1 second, so you'll see my hand. I'll throw it up real quick so you see my hand. Boom, and then the AoE knockback. So if you see this, if you see the oops, let me make sure I don't die.
I came over here so I'd stop punching.
If you see the hand go up, immediately dodge. Just hit the dodge, because what it'll do is the knockback, you'll avoid it, and you can get that stomp much easier. If you get knocked back, it's more time. And so the next thing, so I'll use the 1 skill here so you can kind of see it. So you see the 1 skill channels multiple times. You'll see I got a lightning proc on that one. It does a pretty decent amount of damage. And then the next one, again, I'll show this on this side. So you'll see the knockback there. Fairly long knockback. You see the distance there. It's pretty substantial.
Way over here.
If you dodge that, right, you're still right on top of me, easily get the channel right back off again, right? Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't do that.
No, it was me. It was me.
It was not me.
And then you have the bandage skill, obviously. But then the 4 skill, I'm sorry, 3 skill, I'm going to jump in here one more time. I want to show that off. It's a big symbol. And it will heal you a bunch of times really fast. So if you see an ally is going to come in and try to save you, this is a really good skill, because you'll pop it down and it's passive. You don't have to do anything. They can stun you and knock you out of it, but it'll be pulsing that heal, and it's very substantial. I want to show that off really quick.
Okay. Come back in.
Come back into game real quick. And then the now it's a double-edged sword though, because if you don't take us back into the game really quick, sir.
There we go.
Thank you. If I pop it and I not going to get saved. That's just more time I'm spending dead, right? And it is around my body, so it's really easy to avoid, right? If you're sitting here killing me and you get me down, and I get oops, let me get off my auto attack here. If I do pop it, it's really easy to avoid, right? So like I'll sit here and, you know, if I'm taking this and I do get a successful knockback, right? And I do get my symbol, because again, it is on cooldown just like the warrior. You'll see I'll pop it. It's really short range. It does a decent amount of damage, but the healing is huge. Like you can see I'm getting chunks of my life back.
Yeah, you are.
So if I did happen to get like to about 20%, if I didn't have poison on me, I could easily pop a symbol and get myself back up while being able to CC and whatnot with it.
Yeah.
So, risk reward again, you pop it, you know, to get yourself back up. The problem is if you do have poison or you do see you're not going to make it up, it just extends your death. So you get risk reward there. This is not as big of a risk reward as Vengeance, because you could, if you see like, hey, my friend's here to help me, I can get, you know, I have a CC on the ground. If I stand on point, I can CC them off the point. I can put some damage on the point. I can heal myself. My friend might be able to get me back up, right? Whereas the warrior is all in. You're either dead or alive, one of the two.
I find that few things are as big of risk reward.
Yes.
All right, awesome. So that kind of took us through the downstate fighting on that, and I think it was probably a good call on our Twitter followers. So
yeah, no, that was
very much.
really, really great, guys.
Yeah.
If you have any other suggestions or anything else like that you want to see or more of, just shoot us a message on Twitter and we'll see what we can do.
Send them to us with the hashtag GW2POI. Follow our channel also, so you know when we go live and you don't miss it.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you, Hugh, as always, for coming and helping us through Noobland in PvP.
My pleasure.
We've been in a rotation on PvP 101 about maps and professions, and we've been covering that. And we're going to take a little break since the meta kind of imploded.
Yes.
This
now,
week.
with the huge, I'm sure everyone who's played has seen the massive skills change that's happened. It's kind of shooken stuff up a bit.
Yeah,
just
so
a bit.
We're going to kind of go back to basics this week and ease new players in on what is going on, because it's super confusing.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things that changes when we talked about old builds, we would say like, you know, you have all these points. I think it was like 14 points you could spend, so you could get like 2 full straight lines, and then either splash into one, or you can kind of like organize your points. However, now with the new system, it's all about 3 full straight lines. And one of the other things that people...
It's pretty great.
Yeah, I know. It's really cool, because there was a lot of builds that you were like, man, if I could only go a little bit further in this line. Oh, if I could just go and get these 3 Grandmaster traits, I could make something awesome.
So many great things.
Yes. Well,
guess what?
You can. So one thing I wanted to show off was, you know, going back to the PvP build UI, going back through this one more time just to kind of let people understand exactly what's going on, as well as...
Yeah, let's take a look at your build.
The new build UI stuff. So we go into the game real quick. On my screen, we will kind of show what it looks like in the PvP build UI. So the top of the screen when you come into PvP, so you go to the Heart of the Mist, which we've already done, go to the PvP build at the top, you'll see this screen looks very similar. Like I said, you can switch out your weapons, switch out your sigils, switch out that. So I really don't need to go over too much there. One thing
it's not too scary.
Yeah, one thing I will go over is that with the new patch, we did get some new amulets in. So we got this new one called Crusader, which is what used to be an old amulet, which is now changed. Because some of the feedback we got was Berserker in PvP is not Berserker in PvE. So what we did is we wound up creating those for Berserker now in PvE, or PvP is now the same in PvE, and there's a new amulet we called, what was it called? Marauder. So Marauder is old PvP Berserker, but now we have the actual Berserker, which is this guy right here.
Okay.
And the same thing with Crusader, which I don't remember exactly. I think that was Settlers or Rampage or something like that. It's one of those that, again, in PvE it was different than PvP, so we made the actually correct and created a new amulet with those old stats, which is Crusader. But now the crazy thing.
Now we get into it.
The actual PvP builds and builds in general. So for PvP, so PvE players will know they have to go through and do all of the getting the actual points and spending them and going through this dialogue, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen already. go through and like spend your points to get your your utilities and your traits and stuff like that. Well, just like the times of old, PvP again, you still don't have to do any of that stuff. That's all unlocked for you. So if there's a build as a new player when you come in and you want to try, you can come to PvP, check out that build, make the build that you want, and then you can go in PvE and earn those points and spend them to make that build in PvE. So that stuff's still there, all still there.
So you've still got everything available.
Yes.
All right.
So,
Good.
but one thing I want to show you is how in PvP it's changed. So you have your 5 lines that you can select. And by selecting any of these lines, it will slot it out and switch it. So like if I put defense in here, it'll just switch, or I won't put defense because I'm silly. And you can see that, but there's all the traits have been switched out. So before you had the old trait system, which you would select the numbers. It would be like 3 and then 6 and then 5. And you could get like 3 of the low tier traits, the adapt traits.
Right.
But you could only ever have 1 grandmaster trait. Because that was, we had essentially a tier system where tier 1 was, 1 through 4. And you could select a tier 1 in a tier 2 slot and a tier 3 slot. But a tier 3 slot could only have a tier 3, a tier 2 can only have a tier 2 or tier 1, so on and so forth.
Right.
Now, there is only these 3. You can only have one of these guys right here, one of these guys right here, and one of these guys right here. You cannot mix and match. You can't have all of these here, which would used to be the old adapt side. You can't have 3 adapt traits. You can only click 1, and then it will link, and it'll show you what you get here, and then you can select one of these guys, and then select one of these guys, and that's it. That is a huge change.
It is, and this is why we're doing this, to help you get used to it, and not really understand it, not really get a feel for it, but at least know which way you're going.
Yes. So
instead of just looking at it going, I don't know.
So there was a lot of times in builds, especially like some of the warrior builds I used to run, I would run 2 minors, especially like in discipline and stuff like that. Whereas you can't do that anymore. So a lot of those, like, I want to give a big shout out to like, the skills and balance team. Those guys, they did a great job taking a lot of the traits and stuff that aren't in the game and rolling them into either the newer traits or combining traits, as well as making basic functionality part of the class. I think it's, again, huge shout outs to those guys. Those guys work really, really hard. And of course, there are bugs with everything. But you know what? Again, they've been working their hiney off to make sure everything is getting up to par. And we appreciate you as the players coming to us and letting us know exactly what's broken. So again, big shout out to you guys. Big shout out to the Skills and Balance guys.
That's probably something we should say. The amount of work that has gone into this.
It was massive.
I didn't even realize until we started talking to people this week. And I was absolutely floored by how hard the teams have been working on this. So
yes,
thank all of you, and you.
Yeah, I mean,
thank all of you guys.
It was one of the best, one of the hardest parts was just getting in there and just playing it over and over and over again and finding little things. Like, I mean, one of my favorite things to do is, maybe not this segment specifically, but other segments, is going back through and saying like what we did see before we went live. Because people say, "Oh man, this is really strong." You have no idea. You have no idea.
Yeah, we've already tweaked this so much.
But going back on topic, this is what you're going to have to see. So one of the things I like telling people is when they do select a line is calling it by the number. So there's only 1, 2, or 3 of these things. So I will say, like, whenever I tell somebody, hey, what build are you running? I will say strength 1, 2, 3. So that way they go, oh, top trait, middle trait, bottom trait, and they just go right there. Because those things are really important, especially when you're giving it a build. Because before you'd be like strength 6, 5, 9, and it was tough because you'd be like, okay, why are you taking that instead of this? And this it should be in the middle. I don't understand why this is better than that. But this, because it's so simple of being able to know, oh, I can only check out of these 3. Oh, okay, he's going with, for instance, peak performance. He's going with like adrenaline skills. He's going great sword, and he's going, Berserker's power. You can kind of say like, oh, okay, he's going with probably physical skills with a great sword, and he's going to try to keep his adrenaline high, right? Before you'd have to like kind of know what those numbers are, but it makes it a little easier because there's actually more decisions but less decisions because of the way the traits have been adjusted.
It's more decisions, better communication.
Yes.
Easier communication with your team.
Exactly. So I talk with some of the warrior players out there, and everybody's telling me all the new Hambo builds. But my favorite thing about it is so far out of like the 5 or 6 people I've talked to, they've all given me slightly different builds, and they've said it's the best build they've ever played.
Everybody's trying out new things.
They're trying new things, and that's kind of what I want to get to you guys across. Is obviously meta battle has always been the thing we always talk about as a place to go to learn new builds and stuff like that. But right now, if you go there, it's chaos.
I went there. I was like, okay, I got to get in here and try because my time has been really limited this week. So I haven't had much time to do as much gameplay as I wanted to. And I thought, okay, I'll just go to Meta Battle and I'll fool around with the first thing I find. And I went for ranked arenas and I looked for, okay, what's going on under the meta? There was nothing. I mean, there are no builds here currently. And I just went, I'll come back later.
Yeah, and that's one of the fun things, and this is why it's a great time for a new player to get in there and try stuff, because you will find that if you go through and look at something, you can play anything right now and at least be, you know, viable because the way the traits are. Throw some stuff together that makes sense to you and get in there and try it. It may not work. It may work, but you know what? Try something else. Next time, just click on a different trait, try something else, try a different line, and play. Like I was playing, I don't even know what I was playing before. I think I was playing, was I playing Hambo? I was playing Hambo, of course.
There you go.
I was playing Hambo, and I was running through, and I had this, you know, idea of like, you know, I'm going to go with 100% crit chance on my burst skill, so I don't have to take Intelligence Sigil, and I'm going to go with, you know, Hydromancy, and I'm going to do this. And then I looked at, you know, one of the other really good players, warrior players, Tarsus, and he was running something completely different. And I was talking to one of my friends, and he's running something completely different. I'm like, man, the fact that there's a lot of variation, a lot of variable right now, because the meta is changing and shifting, it's a lot of fun to get out there as a new player. So all I say is come into PvP. Look at the build. Try something. If you liked a build before, Hambo, all those things should still exist. Try one of the things. Try making that similar build, and then look at kind of the other options in those different lines that you were used to taking, and see if maybe you can adjust it to your playstyle. Like for me, I wanted 100% crit chance always on my Earthshakers, and I'm able to get that, but I had to sacrifice some stuff. But I gained some stuff, and it didn't make me any worse, but it just made me play differently, and I had different options, and it was. This to me is one of the most fun things, is like when a meta completely changes like this. Like this is very rare for any game where a meta will shift, like, you just turn upside down.
I don't even know if shift is the word. The meta's gone right now.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what makes it's so fun to get in here and try some builds. So I really say, guys, jump in here, look at your traits, like really go through and look at them and see what has changed, what you can make. Because like, you have access to essentially 3 Grandmaster traits. Like, that is huge. That is a massive, massive change.
And the thing is, when you go in and get started on this and start working through the stuff that Hugh's talking about, if you're a new PvP player, it's hard to say after a while, or a super casual player, and if you're watching this, you are most likely one of those things. One of the things that I've seen all this week is, oh my gosh, I came in here, none of my builds work, I have no idea what to do, I'm done. And that's like I said, I went into Meta Battle the other night, and I was just really tired. I had limited time, and that's why I was saying, you know what? I'll just go to Meta Battle. I'll find whatever's there. I'll throw it on my bar because I just want to go like knock out my dailies. And for really new or casual players, that's not going to work for a while. The advantage is that this is forcing what it did for me. This is forcing you to sit down and take some time where you're not jumping in, and take some time just looking and reading what your skills do. And figure out, well, you know, what do I want to do? Do I want to call down fire from the heavens? Do I want to punch things? Do I want to hit stuff? Do I want ranged or do I want melee? And then go from there. Figure out what kind of play style you're in the mood for.
And to be fair,
it's gonna help you.
Yeah, and to be fair, I already looked at Meta Battle last night when before and I was playing, and they did have started to.
They're getting there. I did this on I think like Wednesday.
Yeah, so they're starting to get some stuff there. So if you are like still really casual and you don't really know, you can probably wait. Like I'd say probably by this weekend there'll be a fairly good amount of builds that you can just get in and try, and then you can kind of tweak as you see fit. Because one of the things I saw like when I was on there is like they went through this whole line, the specific line for Hambo, and I was like, I don't see this at all. Then I tried it. I was like, wow, that was actually really good. I was like, oh my goodness. And
you found something new.
And so that's why, again, if you're one of those people that gets scared, I don't want you guys to get frightened about this specifically. So if you need to, wait for a little while, check Meta Battle, keep looking at Meta Battle, keep waiting for those things to update. Because I can guarantee, especially how hard people have been grinding it out on the top level and the mid level, those things will slowly start to settle, or maybe not like settle into a meta, but at least those builds will start becoming more available.
Yeah, and it's definitely not, don't take that to mean that I'm saying meta battle is suddenly useless.
Oh, yeah.
My point is that
love
the
that
meta
case.
was turned upside down.
Yeah, definitely.
Still my go-to.
Yep.
They and the players, they've done an amazing job. It's been really, really good. But this is an opportunity for you as a newer casual player to really get in there and just spend some time relaxing and reading what the skills do now.
Yep.
And reading what everything does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no right now, which is fun. There's no right, or there's no.
Yeah.
There's obviously they can always say there's the wrong, but there's no right, which makes it so that you can explore a build that you may have always wanted to play, and it may actually be work.
Yeah.
So that's all I got, guys. I just
Yeah.
wanted to keep it simple today because again, everything's still really changed. So keep it simple. I want to put it on you guys to have some fun and get out there and actually try it.
Seriously, have some fun. That is always, always, always going to need to be your first priority.
That's right.
Seriously. All right, thanks a bunch, Hugh.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you guys next time.
Later, guys.
Bye. So we wanted to, since we're going into this weekend, we wanted to do kind of a quick primer if you haven't had the chance to experience Stronghold yet. How to queue for it, because we have queue preferences now.
That's true.
Yay!
It's awesome. It's really, really
So
awesome.
I can do all Stronghold all the time.
That's true.
Why don't you show us how to do this, because we have your monitor now.
Sure. So I'm going to hop on over to my monitor. I'll kind of give you a quick overview. You can see over here on my screen. Right now I'm in a custom arena just to kind of show off, but if I was actually in PvP, instead of saying custom arena, you'd have unranked and ranked right next to the top, and then right below that you see the mode preferences. We kind of went over this on the PvP side already when we were showing Miss Champions, but just a quick overview. As soon as you want to play if you want to play Conquest, you just click Stronghold off, and you can play Conquest. If you want to play Stronghold only, click Conquest off, and then you queue for unranked, and you get Stronghold.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
That's easy.
Simple.
All right, so once you're in Stronghold, it's a lot more important to have roles now.
Yes.
I found out the hard way yesterday. If you don't have good communication with your team, and if you guys kind of don't nail down your strategy, you know, at the beginning, the guy's like, last chance to nail down your strategy. He is not screwing around, you guys. Seriously, if you go in there and your team strategy is YOLO,
it's going to be a little rough.
it hurts. It hurts so bad.
So I just want to, I guess, go to segue into that.
Yeah,
Boom. Let's talk about some roles. One of the.
Wow.
I know I'm so good at this.
No.
So when you start the match, when the match actually begins, I'm not going to start this match because I don't want to have all that worry about timers and whatnot. But you will get one supply. So supplies used on the map to spawn NPCs that kind of help you push forward. So if you look on the mini map here, I'll bring out the big map here. You'll see that you have gates leading up to the enemy lord. So you can see that right here. And then the same thing, you have defensive gates that lead to your lord. So right now I'm on the red team, so I'm going to spawn, I could spawn some door breakers and archers to run up. Door breakers will kill gates. Archers will kill guards that protect the gates, and the guards will kill door breakers. So you kind of have this like triangle, rock, paper, scissors kind of thing that goes through them. So one of the updates we did to Stronghold is we made archers faster than door breakers. So, and they do even more increased damage to guards, and they prioritize guards. That's one of the biggest changes.
Yay.
Is before they'd run up and sometimes they'd attack the guards if they got attacked first, or sometimes they'd attack the gate, sometimes they'd attack players.
Depend on their mood.
Yeah, it really did. But now they will actually really try to prioritize those guards at all possible. And again, because they're faster than door breakers, you can spawn them at different times. So before it'd be like, okay, if you really wanted to do a really good archer push in front of your door breakers, you had to like tell your team, okay guys, wait a second, let me get these archers out there, let them get in front, and then let the door breakers. Yeah, which in solo queue and when you're queuing solo, it's kind of hard to have that kind of coordination.
Right.
Making them faster now, you can spawn them anytime, and these the archers are significantly faster, about 50% faster than door breakers, so they will easily catch up and pass a door breaker who's running down a lane who got summoned a few seconds beforehand. So yeah, let's talk about roles now. So that's kind of like just giving a general overview of how that supply mechanic works at the very beginning of the game. So one of the roles that I usually tell new players to do is to go run supply. So after you spend your supply over here, you run out, and you'll see we kind of did a change to the supply, as it's not even there right now. But when the match starts,
if there was supply, it would be here.
The supply would be right here. Actually, you know what? I am going to start the match real quick because I want to show you guys how different the supply mechanic is at the beginning of the game.
The match will start soon.
Soon. So what happens, we actually changed the way supply works, where supply is now only 2 supply per stack in the center, And then after those 2 are exhausted, it takes 15 seconds for it to change. To refill, I'm sorry.
Right. And before it was unlimited, so everybody would just run in and you kind of either ran past each other and everybody gets the supply because it's unlimited and it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
There's no reason to fight over it.
Exactly. So now with the way supply works, I'll kind of show you the animation to look for when it refills itself, also what it looks like when you run out, stuff like that. So I would come over here as a player and be like, you know what, I'm going to run supply. I'm going to spawn archers and door breakers. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pick up this guy. You'll see the stack kind of get smaller. Also, you'll see that if you look over here, you see it has only 1 of these buffs. And if you look over here, it has 2. So you can look both visually as well as clicking on the piles. So I'm going to click 2 out of here, and you'll see the supply bar will be completely gone. You will not be able to get any more supply, and it is gone. So what this means is if there's 2 people running, 1 person on one side, 1 person on the other side, supply stays, you know, pretty much the same it was. You guys can kind of ignore each other. The second another person goes in here and starts getting supply, now there's a chance you may not get supply, so you're going to have to fight over it.
You're going to have to fight over your resources.
Yep, and you can see this big animation. Supply crate drops from the sky, drops off some more supply, and then you can go pick up more supply. You can see there's 2 supply there. And then as a player, I would come over here, and I would run all the way back over here and spawn more door breakers and archers. And this is kind of the runner role. So the offensive role, which would be the next one we'll kind of go over, is I actually follow these archers down. You can actually see this archer destroy these 2 guards without any opposition. He's at half health, but he killed both guards. There's usually 2 guards up here. So I'll do this. I'll kill this game magically with the power of dev hacks. This guy will run forward.
It's to save time.
Yeah.
You can't do this online.
No, I can't. But you'll see, like, this guy will run over here. He'll stop. These guys will kind of fight him. He'll take some damage. He probably may get 1 or 2 of these guys. He'll probably get 1. Maybe. Okay, he'll almost get 1.
Going to get murdered. Whatever.
So these guys are a little stronger than the ones on the outside. But you can see he only shot 2 times and did essentially, like, 70%.
He's really tough.
So if you had 2 archers, you could easily clear out these 2 guys without a problem. And so what you'll do is offense, there's the supporting the NPCs, so you can protect the archers, the door breakers, get them up the lanes. So you can play those really supportive roles using protection, stability, healing. Condition clear is really important because these guys can't clear conditions. And then there's the opposite side, which you can do the offensive damage role, which is kind of what I was doing here, which is I come up here and actually clear these NPCs out myself. So with that, I don't really rely on the NPCs all that much. I rely on myself. But, of course, without the NPCs, this does take a little longer. As you saw, it only took 2 shots to really almost kill. Yeah. But you can see I'm not, I won't say wasting, but I'm spending my time really taking out these guys, where NPCs actually are really strong at that now. So that's the offensive role. Now, the defensive role is actually the exact opposite of what we just did here. There's going to be guys running and spawning NPCs, supporting those NPCs, and then players that come up to kill my defensive guards. So what I would do is, like, so I started over here, so I'll kind of say, so I spawned here. This is my offensive lane right here. So I came up here. I was either running supply over this way or going up the offensive lane. If I went over here to the other side of the lane, which I'll say like the north side of the lane because my offense is the south lane, I will go here and I will play defense. So they're going to be coming up this way to fight me, right? So I'll wait here, protect my guards. But one of the other things you can do, which a lot of people still don't do, which I think is so powerful, and I actually saw another buff, which use the Treb. The Treb is really strong, and I can use this to, one, we fixed a bug where it didn't do increased damage to door breakers and archers, but now it does do increased damage to door breakers and archers. It only takes about 2 shots to kill a door breaker and archer. So I can use this guy and really kind of pelt the lane and keep those guys down. It makes someone has to come up here and fight me.
Right, and to get you off the Treb.
Exactly. And so what you can do is if they do kill my Treb, after about 2 minutes, the Treb will repair itself automatically. Kind of this is what we use to keep the game going as well as to break up any mid-fights. But you can use 1 supply, as I'm showing here, and you can actually rebuild the Treb right away.
Nice.
So if you want, if you want to play that super defensive side, I'm actually not going to chat here. If you want to play that super defensive side, you can actually not spend your supply right at the beginning of the match. Run up here, go straight to Treb, and use the 1 supply if they do kill your Treb to rebuild it immediately. And one of the things I'll show over here, I'm going to use my dev hacks real quick. Boop! Oh man, look at that teleport warriors get. You can actually come to your Treb from the inside your base from protection. So I can actually jump down this way. It's another thing. So if I'm fighting here, go, whoop! Look at this teleport. I can run my way in here and then come back around this way and go up to the Treb if I want to. Now you can see it does take me a little while, some time to get here. But if I was like an elementalist or a mesmer or a thief, I could not use dev pack teleport and actually teleport up here save myself a ton of time.
Nice.
To get over here, and then if someone's attacking my gate and they're actually killing all my guards and there's door breakers, I can just sit here and lob my treb shots right here and get those nice sweet hits and make them have to come all the way up around this thing to come up and get me.
It's a good time waster for the enemy.
And one of the big things we've said about this map is it's all about resource management, and time is a big resource.
Huge, yeah.
So again, the defensive role is kind of those things. Defensive role is stopping them from getting into your gate, stopping from killing your guards, managing yourself, killing the NPCs, because the NPC is the only thing that can do damage to the gates. So killing door breakers is really important. And then there's obviously the mist essence, which is the big bad boy we showed already with Mist Champion. So by going over here, it's a 10-second channel. Only CC will stop you, or death will stop you from channeling. So
not even death.
Yeah. So you can see a lot of times, like, what you'll do is you'll start channeling, and if someone starts to fight you, you can make that assessment, like, do I have enough life to finish this? Can I just pop like stability like this, and will this be able to get me this Mist Champion? So yeah, so that's one way to do it that way as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. One of the big things I want to get across to new players is find something that's fun for you. Do you like playing defense? Do you like going on the defense and like fighting other players, stopping that, and like being that front line?
Right.
Do you like playing really supporting and like supporting NPCs and getting them to the front line to get those gates down? Do you like being like that super hyper aggressive guy that goes and tries to kill those defenders from stopping everything?
Yeah, getting in there and pushing up to the Lord.
Yeah. Do you like being a shot caller? Do you like going and running supply and being like, hey, offense, what do you need? You need door breakers, archers. Okay, defense, are you okay? Okay, you need me to help? Okay, I'll switch over to defense, because that runner role is really important, like always kind of communicating, what do you need? What can I get you? Defense, are you okay? Like that, there's a lot of fun little roles you can play. Yeah. So usually what we like to do, like as soon as I get in a match, I'm like, hey, I'm going D. I'm kind of, tanky. If I need, who am I going to call upon to help me on defense if I start getting overwhelmed? Right, and you kind of have that conversation. So
do you have so we've got offense, defense, running supply, supporting NPCs, and then we've got the Mist Essence in there.
Yep.
Do you have like a spread that you recommend?
Yeah, one thing we always like to tell people when you're first trying out is I like going the 2-1-2. 2 offense, 1 runner, 2 defense. That's a really safe one, because even if they put a lot of resources on offense and they go like one of the common strategies people were saying was going 5 offense. And you go 5 in offense and you try to rush it as quick as possible. You get on that treb and you stop those NPCs, the rush is done. Yeah, it's over.
You're finished.
And with the way guards work now, where they really try to prioritize door breakers, even if they beat that first rush gets out and those door breakers are kind of low, all it will take is one of those guards walking over and slapping once, and all of a sudden those door breakers are dead.
Right.
And then again, the rush is done. They have to now go back to the center of the map, get supply, get that offense going, and it spreads the map. So all in is a little scary. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
One thing actually, real quick, I want to mention to you guys too, for who are new, and one of the new things we added was if you're in the enemy base, I'll show this off real quick. If you're in the enemy base and you die, for defenders, well, we added this new mechanic, which is called, let me see what I actually called this thing, behind enemy lines. If you die in the keep, inside the enemy stronghold, and you die, you will drop 2 supply automatically.
I can feel it.
Yeah, I noticed that all the times I died yesterday.
And the reason for this buff was so that, defenders, when they were beating, because people would start just face rushing and just trying to get through as best they can.
Don't judge me.
It was really hard for defenders to really get out of their base because they were constantly defending. But when you die, because a lot of times if you're going in the offense, you don't have any supply on you because you've spent it and now you're running forward. But now with this, it makes it so if I kill you on defense, I can now get 2 supply and run up and start spawning NPCs, and now I have an offensive push for playing defense. So it kind of spreads the map out as well. So all these things take into account when you're playing defense, you're playing offense, when you're thinking about the map, because it's a little bit more tactical, a little more different than when you play Conquest. Now I'm not saying Conquest is bad in any way. There's a lot of tactics, especially if you watch the last ESL. Man, there was a lot of good plays, good matches there. So I'm not taking anything away from that. Right. But it's just a little different. You got to think of it in a different way. So. Yeah. Play some Stronghold, guys. A lot of times it was on Tuesday, so I saw a lot of feedback. People didn't get a chance to play, but it's all weekend. Yeah. All weekend, guys.
Yeah, I will be seeing you guys in there because I really need to get better. Seriously need to get better.
I'm playing all weekend.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah. So, all right, thank you very much for kind of talking us through Stronghold after all of the changes you guys made. And thank all of you for your work in iterating on the feedback that we got from the last round.
It's team effort, and it all comes down to you guys giving us feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest changes over time, another mechanic we added, was all because of feedback from the community. Queue preferences, feedback from the community. All these things were, I mean, you guys, we said, hey, we want to know your guys' feedback, and we got it, and we really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
so
that
thank you
helps
guys.
a lot. It makes a big difference.
It does.